Okay, welcome back, tubers. This is part 2 of the Synoris door opener by Summer. Okay, as you can see, I have the command station is mounted right here on the end of the rail. You have to make sure that this chain inside, the drive chain, is tight, and you also have to make sure that you leave the black plastic on the one side of it, because that helps guide your motor. The motor on this unit is way over here. Shout out to LiftMaster 1280. He came on my last video, part 1, and helped me out a lot with trying to get this opener to work. Now what happened was, I thought the springs over top of the door right here, I thought they had to be stretched out and turned, but you just put those in place. And what I ended up doing was taking the whole top rail up there off and checking the bearings on the end bearings, to make sure that they were free. And I also took off the spindles on the end that keep the cable, onto the door. And they actually have to be lined up so that they don't come off of the, they have to be lined up level, straight with the sides of the door so the cable stays on that reel. Now, what I did was, I put the springs on and just left them right there, and I turned them. And the most important thing, which 1280 LiftMaster brought to my attention, was that this door has to come up, freely with, yourself by hand. That's what the springs are for, to take all the load off the door and off the opener. So once I knew that, I went online on YouTube, which I gotta say, YouTube has helped me so much, and that's a lot of reason why I do these videos. Really don't make any money off them, but it's worth it to me to give back, because I take so much, not just on home repairs, but on fixing trucks, cars, whatever. Whatever you got, you can go online, and usually there's a video for it. So anyway, getting back to this, I just put the springs up there the way they were, and then I tightened them. Okay, I tightened each side. You have to count them. They have to be even, because when that door comes up, it has to come up even, so there's no binding on this opener. Okay, the opener's rated for 550, but like he said, if you don't have that, if you don't have everything, equal, then you're going to get the door opener may open it, but it will wear out a lot faster. Now what happened to me was, I was trying to open the door before I had done all the spring synchronization and all that. So my memory on this thing, it has a memory. On the usual door opener, you have 2 screws, and you set the tension with the screws and where the stop is and everything else. Well, on this Synoris, it has a brain in it, and it goes by force. So the force, when you open that door, it calculates the force and keeps it in its memory, and that's what starts and stops it. And once it gets familiar with the force of the opening and the closing, then you're good. What happened to me was, I was trying to open this thing before everything was calibrated, and the opener was coming up like 12 inches and stopping, and I was so frustrated. So usually when I get like that, I go to bed, and I just let it alone, for whatever time, at least 8 hours, and then you come back to it. So suddenly it occurred to me that the door will open, will open with me just opening the door. So I pulled the string. There's a string on here, right here. This string releases the tension, okay? That releases the tension and the gear drive. So I opened it by hand, okay? And I brought it all the way up. And then, and believe I tried doing reset, learn everything on these buttons on this command center, and nothing worked. So finally, you know, it did come up, but then it got stuck on the rail, so I had to pull the rail up. So then it was stuck in a position where it got stuck on a rail. So getting back to where I was, I slept the night, got up, came out here, and it occurred to me to open the door by hand all the way up. So it was all the way open, and then I hit the button on the remote, and the door went down fine. Well, then after it got the force and all, it calculated everything, this command center was good to go. It opened, closed, and it does everything fine. But it only worked after I calibrated the springs and I opened the door so that the opener would push it down instead of up. So the brain was calculating something altogether different. So I went at it that way, and the door actually works perfect now. Because to me it seemed like that the motor was burned up, because it would only come open at 12 inches. Well, once I pulled it all the way up and, you know, and disregarded reset and all that other stuff, because that to me, it wasn't working for me. So I was like, there has to be some way. This opener's brand new, so it's got to work. So like I said, I unhooked the motor by the string and freed the gear drive, and I opened it all the way up. And now the door opener works. Okay, so it actually works really good. I'm happy with this Synoris. Okay, as you can see, it comes up. This is your motor drive. Okay, that goes along the rail. And once you figure it out, I put other openers up, and you know, the rail and everything is pretty awkward, but once you get this Synoris, you know, you get to know the memory and the command center and all that. It actually turns out pretty well. So now I have the safeties. It works on the safeties. I put up, you know, the wall connector, the wall command button, and that works great. And everything, like I said, is working as it should. So thanks again to LiftMaster 1280. That really helped me. It's sometimes my mind gets going in one direction, and I actually need, you know, a new set of eyes to lead me to another direction. And once I got those springs calibrated, and once I made sure that I could open it freely by myself, pull it up and down, and made sure that the wheels on each side weren't getting caught up. Now remember, this is an old door that was laying on the ground when I got here. So I actually had to buy wheels and a couple of the hinges, and I actually put this door back together. And so I was like starting from scratch. So like I said, once I had the springs being calibrated to equal tension on both sides is the most important thing. I actually counted 31, 32 quarter turns on the spring. And once I had them calibrated, and once I figured out this command center and was able to reset that by pulling the door all the way open and then letting the opener shut it and feeling the force and getting that in its memory and brain, then I was able to, you know, get the opener to work. Now remember, a lot of the openers, they have setting screws for the tension. This opener does not. This thing, the brain does the whole thing. So you have to be sure that, you know, to get that first open and close, it says to open and close it 2 times, and then it's in the brain how much force it needs to open and close. And that also sets the tension if, you know, say you got something like a bike or something stuck under there, that will make more tension and stop the opener from shutting. Okay, so the opener is a little bit different, but once I got it all set up, the thing works great. Again, this is the Synoris by Sommer. Okay, I don't know if you could see that or not. By Sommer. Okay, it's German made, and the whole thing, it sets everything by the brain inside the command center. So once you get it all set up, you're good to go. I'm happy with the opener. Again, thanks LiftMaster 1280, and I love you guys coming and watching my videos. Feel free to comment, even the negative comments I welcome, because I do learn from everybody's comments. Okay, but again, remember, this is all for for the help of others. I gain help from YouTube, and I want to give it back. And I'm not making any money off of this. I'm just giving it to you for an option. When I was younger, I didn't have this option. I had to figure it out. I had to call the distributor. I had to call the manufacturer. It was a big mess. But now you just go on YouTube and watch a couple videos, and you can get the project done. Like and subscribe, guys. Mr. Faust here, Joe, coming at you. Like I said, share my video. I appreciate you coming at me. I do like when my numbers go up, my views, and also my subscribers. It gives me something to work for. Thanks for coming at me. Have a good one. I'm out.